Welcome to Stop the Ride, a sober curious podcast for anyone whose relationship with drugs or alcohol has felt a little bit like a roller coaster. I'm your host, Drew Valentino. Sobriety can mean a number of things, so each week I sit with a new guest to talk about why they decided to distance themselves from the drugs and the alcohol. So whether you are in recovery or just looking to make a few positive adjustments to your life, you are right where you need to be. And on this episode, I sit down with adult content creator Crush Daddy to talk about why he got sober from all of the drugs. Let's get into it. Hi everyone, welcome to the podcast. And today I have a very special guest with me, Crush Daddy.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being on the podcast. I'm excited to share your story. We met at the Grabbies. I don't know if it was last year was the first time.
Last year.
I think
that was the first time I went.
So okay. So then definitely last year. Yeah. And then only recently did I see on your Instagram that you're sober, which I did not know, which I think is really cool. I can't get over you're like twice my height. I like forgot that you're so much bigger than me. What would you say was some of your first exposures to drugs and alcohol?
You know, I try to remember this myself.
Oh, really?
You know, or it's like what exact, because I don't, like I remember my first drink, but I know that my mom, like without, like innocently, without really knowing, gave me like, I think it was Oxys.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm from South Africa, and like they're much more liberal with medication down there. Like they still have Quaaludes in South
wow.
Africa, right? And people just pop pills there like it's nothing. It's like Florida was for a while. And I had this back pain from growing too fast, and I couldn't play sports because of it. And like I was taking Advil a lot, and none of it was working. And I remember my mom was like, "That's that pussy American shit here. Take this." And I think that was because I remember just like melting when I took that. And
how old?
Probably like 12 or 13. And like,
that's wild.
But I wouldn't really, I don't know if you would call that my first like use, because I didn't use it to get
it was
high,
medicinal,
if that makes sense. And I didn't even know if that, like, I just remember like feeling like I'm melting. And then like years later when I did real like Oxy again, I was like, oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. That shit's.
But I think my first drink was probably like 14 or 15, just with my teammates, my basketball teammates. Yeah.
And did you get drunk, or you just had a drink?
No, I didn't, because we couldn't afford enough alcohol for all of us.
Oh, wow.
like we got a bottle for like 13 of us.
Right. That's funny. Yeah.
I think it started off just as partying. Like I did it to party.
Yeah.
You know, like we would smoke weed, you know, maybe take a pill. Like, you know, in high school, maybe the beginning years of college. And then, like, I went through some stuff in college. I had a partner cheat on me. And that's when I think it switched from partying to managing my emotions with it, if that makes sense. And it didn't stop.
Yeah.
It pretty much went from, like, I could go a day or two without it to I cannot go an hour without being loaded on something.
Right.
Yeah. And then from there, it's the typical progressive story.
It's interesting because they say there's a link between maybe how early and how old somebody was when they were exposed, like early exposure to drug use, to addiction and abuse. So it's interesting because in the beginning, it sounds like you were just partying and not necessarily abusing it. You know what I mean? But
I was partying hard.
You were partying hard.
I was definitely hard. Like,
it's a fine line.
I was definitely like almost competitive about it.
Yeah.
Where like I'm like I can drink more than you.
Right.
And I was always the one that could drink more, smoke more, whatever.
Right. Isn't that fun? Like what a ridiculous thing.
Like I'm a champion at doing drugs.
I'm so good at doing more drugs than anyone.
Yeah, I definitely had an ego problem.
Yeah, I'm also extremely competitive, and I wonder if that's probably also a link too. Like, I could see that competitivism and like addiction maybe.
Yeah, and I think competitivism is a euphemism for we had an ego issue.
Yeah.
Because like the reason I was so competitive is I needed to prove that I was better than everybody or like tougher than everybody and stuff like that.
Right.
And like I did have a high tolerance when it came to it. So once I noticed that I could do more, I was like, I'm gonna like rub this in everyone's face.
Which is funny because it's like we're so tough that we do more drugs than everybody. But like you just said, we're using the drugs to mask that we're like sensitive. You know, it's like my feelings are hurt, so I'm gonna get high.
I know.
I'm so tough.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
So then,
And that was into your teens, into high school?
Yeah, college.
And it was just like drinking, pills, smoke, or just everything, or like?
Yeah, I was very much if you went like this with a handful of pills, I would just pop them and be like, am I going up? Am I going down? Like,
we'll find out.
We'll find out. Like, yeah, I was very much, I think we called it a trash can junkie.
Yeah, I was going to say, I called it a garbage head.
Yeah, I would just do whatever. My favorite, to be honest, was weed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I've had my runs with, heroin, coke, crack, meth, I've had my runs with all of them. And like but weed was definitely the one that was on my head the most when I had to stop.
I mean, thank God. Out of all the ones you just listed.
Yeah, I think that one ruined my life the most.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I've never heard anybody.
And that's I always say to me it's the most dangerous drug if you're an addict.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the side effects are so unnoticeable. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not like with heroin where you can overdose and like,
there's
when
a limit.
Start tweaking out for 7 days on meth, like it's obvious, right? But with weed, like 7 years went by and you kind of just sat on the couch.
You smoking every day. Yeah.
Right? And you have anxiety issues when you're not high now and like you don't really notice that.
That's such a good point because when I went through phases of weed and there was a period where I was smoking every day. And then I remember going to Florida with my family where I didn't have weed and it hit me. I could not fall asleep because I had not went to bed without smoking weed in like a year and a half. And I didn't even realize that. And that can't happen. That can't happen without realizing it on the harder shit. And if you make it that long, you know, and I make that comparison with G is really dangerous too, because unlike alcohol, you can do a dose of G in the middle of the day with I think a lot less side effects without people noticing. And when G's over, it's just, you're just kind of back to normal. And I just feel like, I understand that.
Yeah, and I feel like G's gotten bigger since I got sober.
G's
Am
definitely
I
gotten
wrong about that?
How long have you been sober?
Almost 10 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
9 years in March.
Yeah, I didn't know what G was prior to 10 years ago.
We called it Mickey's.
I mean, I've heard of GHB, but I've never.
Yeah.
I never.
Is G and GHB different?
G is GH. Well,
it's the same. Right?
It's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
there's
sorry,
different.
So
no, it's okay.
Now.
That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad for you.
Like, I haven't even had a White Claw.
Right. You're like, what flavors White Claw do they have?
You know what was like the thing when I got sober? The original recipe of Four Locos.
Oh,
that was what was big when I got sober.
That's hilarious.
That's the era I got sober.
I am so thankful that I've never had a Four Loko. That's like. That's crazy. It was like energy. It was like crazy energy drink with alcohol, right?
So it had, I think, 10 cups of coffee worth of caffeine and 8 beers of alcohol.
That's
in like an Arizona iced tea size can.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
And they changed the recipe because people were dying.
Yeah, right.
Like having 2 of them, people were dying. And like I remember we used to drink 2 of them to get blacked out. Like it would be like 2 is like the magic number.
That's all you need.
Like 1, most people 1 is plenty. But the basketball team, we were all bigger guys, and like we would crush 2, and like we would black out. Like it would black out at 6'10". That's
horrible.
Yeah,
I will say the one thing that came out of the Four Loko era is the memes. There's so many good memes about Four Loko, like being a fucking crackhead and doing all this crazy shit. Did you graduate to phases of harder things that got worse, or you stick to that weed was the worst of it?
I think weed was constant. Like it was always there.
Yeah,
it was all day, every day from the time I was like 20. I smoked all day, every day, like an absurd amount. And as the technology around weed got better, like I remember when like certain states started legalizing it. Like that's something I haven't really had much experience with.
Yeah.
Because back then I had to go to like a weird guy's house in a trailer park to get weed.
Yeah.
Now you can buy it with a credit card.
With a credit card, yeah.
And like when like dab rigs became a thing, like I started doing it even more.
What's a dab rig?
Dab rig is like basically smoking weed like it's crack almost. It's like it's like a metal pipe that you heat up and then drop shatter in. And it like
only drug addicts would be like, this weed is not intense enough. Let's make it look like crack.
Dude, and that was my problem. It was like I have such a high tolerance for drugs in general. Like usually after the first time I do a drug, it's like the next time I do it, I will need more than double what I did the first time to get the same high. And the compound, like, so I would smoke like a gram of shatter every 12 hours.
That's crazy.
Yeah, every 12. So it cost me like $100 a day at the time.
And would you at least get stoned, or like did you?
Mildly.
That's crazy.
Like I could still, you know, drive and like go to work and stuff fine. Like it wasn't like I was like blitzed, and most people wouldn't even know I was high. But that was just because I did it so much, and like I could not go a second sober. Like that's really how it was for me. Was like, it wasn't that I was always blitzed, like I can't get up type. I just need to be high 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I did graduate. I don't know if graduate is even the right word.
Graduate's a terrible word, because it sounds like it's a good thing.
Right, but I just went through like phases based on where I was or who I was with. Like when I was in Honduras, I lived in Central America for a few years. Like Coke was good and everywhere and cheap down there.
Yeah.
Because that's like, I lived in an area where they kind of like would ship it in, step on it, and move it into the U.S. for cartels.
Wow.
So you can get an 8-ball for $25.
Wow.
And it was like pure. Like it was way better than anything you can get in the U.S. So I did a lot of Coke while I was there. But then when I moved back to the States, I kind of didn't do as much Coke. Because meth was everywhere, so I started doing meth. Like,
yeah. How old were you when you were doing Coke and then meth?
22 to like 25. Yeah.
That's crazy. I went through a little meth phase myself, but it was older.
Yeah.
it was not, I can't even imagine doing that shit at 22.
Yeah, I feel like meth is classier now than what it used to be.
That's just the lie everybody's selling.
Like, no, I know, but I feel like, because I was 100% just in the straight world as a straight guy back then. And so for us, meth was like trailer trash.
I was going to say, straight people smoke meth.
Yeah, it was like white trailer park type
stereotype,
crap.
right.
And like when I got sober and I started, you know, I was in gay meetings and I came out and I started hanging out, I was like, oh, y'all party with this shit. Like, it's like, in the gay community, it's a big drug, and but it's like classier.
Because with meth, in the gay context, meth is really fuels sex.
That's what
so
I've
in
heard,
the gay context, it's like more, I don't want to say, well, yeah, unfortunately it's more socially acceptable, or I should say normalized. Like people are on Grindr smoking meth, looking for other people to smoke meth to have sex. Yeah. Whereas when you remove that context and you picture somebody smoking meth without, it's like you do picture them like in some like meth lab, like crazy by themselves. Like,
straight people don't have sex, so that's probably why we didn't.
Right? Yeah, I'm like that's why I say, what are straight people doing? Like, going to an open house or like cooking, making recipes? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the sex drug for me was Molly or MDMA or ecstasy. That was our sex drug.
Which is interesting because all these drugs make it hard to get hard, but.
Yeah, I had that problem quite a few times.
That's the so meth is in places like LA and New York is almost like unavoidable on the apps if you hook up regularly, which I do. I like the apps, but I don't want to be
the capital T.
Yeah,
I had to learn that the hard way.
Oh, really? What's the easy way? It's not like it's just somebody telling you.
Yeah, I had
what was the hard way? You just went and they started smoking meth?
And I also didn't know what PMP meant. And all that, and I just showed up, and I was like, well, I'm sober, like I don't do this, and they're like, oh, but I told you, and I was like, no, you didn't.
Yeah. Oh, but they said PNP.
They said, like, I think the one I'm thinking of right now was the capital T.
Yeah. What's up with the capital T is the big clue.
Like I had to learn that was code.
And that's what I was gonna say is that as being somebody that does not want to be around that, there's like lots of hints and stuff that I stay away from.
I had someone on Rentman try to pay me to break my sobriety.
Really?
Right, bro. This happened like a couple months ago. This was the funniest. This is so funny. This guy hits me up. I give him my rate, right? I give him my rate, and he's like, can we smoke? And I said, nah, I'm sober 9 years. I can't. And so, like, I thought that, and he goes, I'll give you an extra $200. And I'm like, you think, like 9 years of sobriety, I'm going to throw in the drain for $200?
Wait, but that's like that's such a meth addict thing to think.
Then I was like, bro, I'm not, I said exactly what I just told you. And he goes, all right, $300.
That's wild.
I was like, I just stopped responding. I was like,
At first, I thought you were saying that he intentionally sought you out because you're sober and was got off on that specifically. I'm like, that's fucked up. It's still fucked up, but that's not quite as fucked up as what I was picturing.
but I feel like only a junkie would think that you could break my sobriety for 10 years with a few $100.
You know why? Because they would. That's they would give a lot up for
how desperate do you think I am?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Actually, yeah, it was actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
To be honest, I was laughing about that.
Because it's relatable, like because we've been there. When you're in the mindset of and you're constantly high, and it's like when I was on that, I just feel like I was just not thinking right. Like it's
of course
not following social norms.
Did you ever see the bat fly across the room when you were tweaked out
for
like 4 days?
No, but I know exactly. Yeah, I know you're trying. I one time. The first time I ever even seen meth, a long time ago, in my 20s, I went to a hookup in a hotel. Okay, this guy was closeted, and he invited me to a hotel. Mm-hmm. He's like fearful of his family finding out he's gay. We get a hotel, so he invited me there, and he told me that he was smoking, and he offered me something. I'm like, no, I'm good. And he didn't smoke in front of me. He just told me and then offered. And the whole time he kept checking the windows, kept looking at the window. He thought the cops were there. And only years later did I understand, like, oh, that's the meth did that.
You probably have been doing it for a few days too.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true.
Like, I feel like that starts coming up after a few days up doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the real like paranoid stuff. But to be honest, like, how long have you been sober now? 2 years?
I've been sober for, it will be 3 years in July.
Right.
But I was sober for 8 years in my 20s.
When you were sober 8 years, did you start forgetting what it felt like to be high?
I did. I never forget, but dulled, which I think was useful to me.
I can't remember.
Oh, that's nice.
Like,
that's a good thing.
Like I don't even think about it that much anymore. Like I'm just like, what was it like?
I don't think too hard on that question.
Because I even be wondering about my own stories. I'm like, what was I thinking then? But I don't remember what
you were chasing.
Yeah. The fucking purple dragon.
Right. No, but that's a good thing. So my drug of choice when I was younger was heroin. There was a period of time where I was trying to be sober for the first time, but was failing. Mm-hmm. And I would make it a few weeks. One time I broke. And I was in my car going to, who knows, like grocery store or something irrelevant. And but I started to my mind started to sink into thinking about what it felt like. And within minutes of that, I was on my way to go get heroin. Afterwards, I was reflecting on it and felt stupid and was ashamed of myself that I did that. And I was thinking about how it literally came down to because I was just thinking about what it feels like in the car, and that's how I spiraled into this fuck it, and I gave up and went and got it, and I realized that, and I started to say to myself, the next time I catch myself thinking about what it feels like, I need to distract myself and intentionally just try to think of something else. Yeah. And I was surprised by how well that worked because you think, and maybe for some people it may not work as well, but I felt like there were times where I started to drift off thinking about how good it felt and think, no, this is exactly what I don't want. And I would just try to talk to somebody, try to daydream about something else, and it worked.
That's what's helped me is I remind myself how much I like this shit. Yeah. And how good it feels. And knowing me, if it's too good, I need to be careful.
Yeah. No, that's a great analogy because, we're not talking about a game. We're talking about life. And so the thing is, it's we as sober people, we're raw dogging it. So it's we've gotten good with our emotions. Our emotions are tend to be more in check, and just we have this stability that we work towards over time.
If you do the work.
Yeah, right.
Because I feel like it gets worse if you stop drinking and you don't do the work.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
I'm a firm believer in that. If you just quit the drugs and alcohol, if anything, I think you get worse. Yeah. Because it starts latching on to other parts of your life.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen that a million times. And I've seen so many people, what do we call it, white knuckling it. Mm. They get sober and they don't do the work and they don't, to change their kind of like personality,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. The outlet was the drugs. Now you take that away. Now it's, you know, other forms of addiction, and your ego gets fucking so big usually, like, and you're being a victim at the same time, which is like a really weird combination of
dangerous
things,
combo.
you know, and like, so I do believe that it's not just, you know, we say it all the time that the drugs were just a symptom of our thinking.
Yeah.
And so you can take that away, but you have to change the way you think.
I strongly agree with like AA's idea that like once an addict, always an addict. It's just like who you are. My experience has been to lean into it. You know what I mean? It's like you are an addict. It's not a phase. You know, it's not something that's going to go away. It's just part of it's just the way you think. It's just kind of part of who you
I
are.
think you're born like this.
And when you lean into it and think like, okay, I'm really good at fixating on something. Let me apply that towards good things.
Right.
Like we can be pretty unstoppable, you know what I mean? Which I think is really cool.
Yeah, it can be a good thing and a bad thing, you know. We can be workaholics, for example, but being a workaholic is better than being a heroin addict.
Right, exactly.
You know,
yeah.
so that's what my sponsor told me because I got addicted to the gym, like to the point where it was crazy. Right, it was insane. I was getting kicked out of gyms for being there too long, and like in LA especially, if a gym thinks you have a mental health issue with your body, they will kick you out, like anorexia stuff. They'll cancel your membership because they can be liable in California.
Wow, that's only something that you would hear about in LA.
Yeah,
you know,
100%. But I got kicked out twice because I would be there for like 8 hours a day sometimes. I didn't have shit to do but go to meetings and go to the gym. But like I was 145 pounds.
Wow.
And like so insecure about how skinny I was that like I channeled all my I want to do drugs energy into I'm gonna get swole.
That's what I did when I got sober off of heroin. I started to focus on school, but also the gym. I do think that some form of fitness or physical activity is kind of crucial for a recovering addict.
Agree. And my sponsor, that's what I was getting at, was my sponsor told me, he's like, you know, out of all the things for you to do addictively, I'm not as concerned about this one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like
It's a healthy
it's like yes, you might be overdoing it, you might be a little delusional, you might be, you know, taking it a little bit too far, but as far as things that you can overdo, I'd rather you do this than go back to doing heroin.
Yeah, working out is amazing because it's like it gives you the endorphins, it gives you the feel-good chemicals, but it's like the most healthy feel-good chemicals you could possibly acquire, you know, and it's not an external source. It's it's your body self-regulating. Yeah. Everybody's different, right? So whether it's bodybuilding, CrossFit, Pilates, yoga, jogging, like there's so many different ways, but my opinion is a new addict, or any addict really, but like needs to figure out which one they want to do. Like, you know, they got to do something, you know. That's my opinion.
You're going to have to in some way channel all those that craziness.
And they say that anxiety is linked to ADHD and that people with anxiety tend to like to work out a lot.
But we all have anxiety, so everybody should be
That's
working
true.
out a lot.
That's
one thing that I did the one thing I think I figured out that I'm the most happy I figured out, and it's very controversial, this what I believe now, is so when I got sober, like I was hospitalized and they did like a dual diagnosis thing where they tried to figure out what mental disorders I have in addition to addiction, and like what was caused by addiction and what was caused by an actual mental disorder. And I was diagnosed with like a plethora of crap, like OCD.
You say
ADHD.
crap because you don't think it stuck, or you're just saying it was
No, I think it's there.
Okay, gotcha.
But it was ADHD, like OCD, PTSD, this thing called TCK, which is like a very rare thing that only if you travel from a young age between cultures you can get. Chronic anxiety and mania, right? And like something with, I think it was bipolar. Like I got diagnosed with all that. They're like, you're all fucked. But that place gave me some of the best kind of like slap in the face honesty. They're like, none of that really matters. Your life sucks because it's your fault. They're like, you're a drug addict and you act like one, and like that because I see a lot of people become victims of those, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anxiety, OCD, ADHD, mania, autism. I got diagnosed with autism when I was like 6 years sober. I could have been like, oh, like, this is why I have these issues, and like, I struggle with this, and like, I need to tiptoe around them, and everybody else needs to do that too with me. I'm so glad that I just never did that. Like, I don't walk around like and go, I have OCD. Like, nobody cares. The world doesn't care.
The world doesn't care.
The world does not care that you have anxiety.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm going to get, like, everyone thinks they have it worse than everyone else for some reason, especially addicts. We love thinking we're special.
Yeah.
We love thinking we have it worse than other people. No, we don't.
We don't.
You know, like, I can think of a million things that I could use as like, I have it worse than other people. And I'm so glad I don't do that anymore. It's made my life so much easier to deal with.
That's good.
Because I see so many people doing that in sobriety. Like, it's almost like they become victims of all their problems.
Yeah.
And I'm like, deal with your fucking problems.
Right.
Like, that's the whole point of what we're doing. Is you're getting sober, you're dealing with your problems. I don't care if you have trauma. Like, we all have trauma.
Right.
It's not maybe your fault that something happened, but it's your fault that you didn't deal with it.
What have you done from then to now?
Deal with it. Like, it's yours. Nobody else is supposed to take care of your trauma. Like, as much as it's somebody else's fault. Like, for example, like I've told the story, I got molested as a kid.
Okay.
And then I would blame some of my issues in life on that trauma, if that makes sense. Like, this is why I'm drinking or something stupid like that. And it's like, no, it's my fault that I'm drinking. I'm using that. It's just a really good excuse.
Yeah.
Nobody's
gonna,
but no one's gonna, like, I'm gonna get a lot of pity for it. It's like, but that is and it's a hard thing to challenge. Like, me saying it, there's gonna be some people who are gonna be pissed off because they're gonna be like, they're so sensitive about their trauma. And like, I'm like, well, that's part of the problem is you need to face your trauma kind of head on as if nobody cares. Yeah. You know, because if you don't deal with your trauma, who is? And if that's what's causing all your problems in your life, then you need to fix it.
Yeah. You know, and it's so true. It's like that we all have different issues, and a lot of times those can be what's holding us back from dealing with addiction. You know what I mean? And
you're like, I need this.
Yeah.
Because I had a bad childhood, for example.
Right.
So I need this beer.
Also, what you're talking about has me thinking about this. It's an interesting theme where, like, two people can have the same unfortunate circumstance, whether it is some type of abusive childhood or something like that. You see one person go through that and fall behind it like as an excuse and really just struggle. You see somebody else that might go through the same thing and think to themselves, well, I have to work extra hard because of this. You see that a lot in life.
That's really, like, we all have choices. It's hard because we don't want to take responsibility for our choices.
Yeah.
Only when they turn out
when they're good. Yeah, right.
So I think that's part of it. It's all self-accountability, kind of. If you're willing to take accountability for, like, everything, like, no matter how embarrassing it is or shameful or whatever, it makes it a lot easier to, like, make the correct decision to do the right thing when you need to.
Yeah, accountability is so important. And I feel like a lot of people that are not ready to get sober because they don't want to take accountability. When did it start to, get really bad or towards a turning point?
I mean, it was probably bad from that story I told you where it went from partying to just perpetual use.
Yeah.
It was pretty much just bad from there, and, like, progressively got nothing but worse. But I think what really happened in that time, because it just depended where I was or what was around me that determined how much I was doing. But what really kept getting worse was my brain. Like, my brain kept getting worse and worse. Like, my dad told me it would be better if you just die.
Wow.
At the end. And and he's like, you're evil. Like, I never thought I would say this, but you're evil. And at the time I was like, you're a bastard. Like, how could you say that to your own son? And like, he was right though. Like, he was so right. Like I went so into self-pity but also at the same time arrogance. And it just kept, so the decisions I was making kept getting worse because the more of a victim I was and the more arrogant I was, like my decisions got more selfish. Like I was just thinking about myself and I wasn't thinking about others more and more. But I had like an arrogance that made me, you know, I did a lot of horrible shit thinking it wasn't horrible, if that makes sense. And like now I'm like, why did I think that was okay? What rationalization did I have?
Right.
Like I just began, like, it was almost like my reptilian brain took over.
Right. It's like evil sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I just want to get my sex, my drugs, my food, and that's like anything in the way is just going to get killed. Like,
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't deny it anymore.
Yeah.
Like I was 145 pounds and like in a lot of trouble, and ended up in a hospital like at 24, and like my organs were all fucked, and I had like 8 drugs in my system when I was admitted, and I was like, yeah, I was like, this is pretty bad. Like I'm dealing with shit that like 60-year-old alcoholics are dealing with physically. So like I went a little too hard.
Yeah.
I think.
Was it the hospital incident that made you want to be sober, or?
I'm still trying to figure this out. I think I was pretty humbled
By
all that, because I actually had the very horrible problem of being able to have a relatively normal life as a functioning addict.
That's the most dangerous kind of addict.
And then it just like all collapsed really fast.
Yeah.
And I was like homeless on the street. And
Wow.
like had warrants out and I was on the run, and like there was bad people who wanted to kill me, and like so like
Crazy.
Like it just went from like I'm working for a Wall Street company to like that within months. Like
That's what it does.
And when I ended up in the hospital, and then so on top of that my body starts breaking down. You know, it was hard not to be humbled by that.
Yeah.
And what I was willing to do then is the doctors, after they diagnosed me with everything and basically told me none of those are causing your life to go to shit, it's only your drug use. Like they said, you have all this, but the reason you're like this is because you're a drug addict.
And this was at how old?
24.
What caused you to end up in the hospital?
I had kidney issues. I had a bunch of issues, and I had to flee the country basically, and went to Honduras. And I didn't really flee, but I like had to get out of the U.S. And a doctor there told me, it's because I was trying to get more drugs from him. He was like, this is a weird situation where if you keep using, you're going to die. But also the type of drugs you're taking, if you stop, you're also going to die.
Oh God, I've never heard
like,
that.
And we don't have the stuff in Honduras to really, you need to go back to the States.
Wow, that's
But
some saw shit.
So like Xanax and Valium and alcohol, like those two, you can die if you stop cold turkey.
Wow, I didn't know
I
that.
didn't know that either. And so he was like, it's kind of like you need someone who can medically kind of wean you off of it safely. And so I went back to the States for that reason, but also like I had a kidney that was failing, liver that was failing, lungs that were failing.
All these were
smoked
failing
all
because
my
of drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
and I smoke all my drugs. Like I smoked heroin, smoked meth. I wasn't much of a needler.
Yeah.
I did it, but it was usually some chick that did it that made me do it with her.
That's the first time I ever did it. Was some chick.
Yeah,
These damn
it's always
chicks. That's
the
why.
damn
Yeah.
white
these
trash
damn
chicks.
Girls. That's why I'm gay.
That's why I'm like going that direction the older I get. But yeah, when I was in the hospital, their recommendation was you should just stop all drugs for a year. And there's this group at the front of the phone book that's pretty helpful with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, fucking whatever. I don't even have money for drugs. Like, okay,
right.
I'll do a year. So I went to LA, and they're like pretty quickly after I got to LA, I was like, I had nothing to do, and like, so I was like, I'll go to some of these meetings, and went to a gay meeting. Like one of the first meetings I went to was a gay meeting, and like got a sponsor, did the steps. Like a year went by, and I was like, I don't want to stop not being stopped, if that makes sense. And
that's great.
It wasn't the plan at all for me to be sober this long. Like I thought I would just do a year and like clean up and do drugs like a normal person afterward.
Right. It's interesting for somebody to just say, yeah, I'm gonna be sober for a year, but it was basically either that or die. Yeah. So that's why. That makes sense.
And I was humbled enough by being homeless and like facing a lot of time. You know, I didn't really have a lot to lean on. Yeah. Like it was, even with the ego that I had, I didn't have a lot to boost my ego. If that makes sense.
What about, do you have like a relationship with your family, or
now I do?
Now you do, but you didn't because of the drugs. Yeah,
they pretty much cast me out.
So how did that year go for you? You did the 12 steps. I mean, I'm sure it was hard, but it's interesting that you didn't relapse.
Yeah, I mean, definitely thought about it.
Yeah,
right. Definitely had some moments.
But that's really great because a lot of people relapse. You know,
yeah,
their first attempt.
Yeah, I'm a one-trip wonder, I think.
That's
is
amazing.
What they call it. I really think if I relapse, I will be dead within a day, because when I go hard. And if it's going to be so embarrassing to relapse, like, especially now where like my entire identity revolves a little bit around sobriety. And like, I can't imagine like going on Instagram and being like, well,
I changed my mind.
I had a beer. Like,
yeah.
You know, like no, I'm too embarrassed to do anything like that. And I think it would just be done like that. It's nothing worse than a belly full of booze and a head full of AA. Like there's nothing worse than that.
Oh my God. Even just you saying that makes me kind of nauseous.
Like, so and that's kept me sober in and of itself. Like in and of itself, sometimes when I'm just being an alcoholic, sometimes I just didn't use because like I have too much of an ego to fucking lose my time. Yeah. If that makes sense.
That's a lot of time.
Like I've spent 9 years collecting time.
Yeah.
I'm not just like, no, like I'm too stubborn.
Right.
You know, and whatever keeps me sober, dude.
Yeah.
Like, every day it's something different that kept me sober.
So, do you still go to meetings?
I do, yeah.
And you did the full 12 steps?
4 times, yeah.
Oh, really? Why 4 times? I never did it. I'm sober on my own accord. I've sat through hundreds of hours of AA and treatment and rehab, so I've learned the stuff, but I didn't formally do the 12 steps, so I'm not that familiar. Yeah. So why would you do it 4 times?
Because it's a never-ending.
Oh, you're supposed to keep doing it.
I don't think there's a way that you're supposed to do it, but like, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like I have an opinion.
Right,
this guy has an opinion, and like I'm not even supposed to talk about AA on shit like this, according to some people. Yeah, like that interview you saw me on, like I had some assholes hit me up and be like, "We're about attraction, not promotion," and I'm like, "Well, that's your opinion." Like,
yeah, I mean,
this isn't like I'm not an employee, like. I am. I'm just talking.
I don't work here.
I'm just talking about my experience with it.
And I've heard this before, especially with talking to people on the podcast. People have said, I'm not supposed to talk about that, and that's fine. I don't want anybody to talk about anything.
And if they don't want to, they don't have to.
But the thing is, I think the idea of like keeping it anonymous is you don't go in full detail about your 12 steps or this person's 12 steps or who was there. But I'm talking about the program existing and how it helped.
I'm not supposed to talk, like I wouldn't expose someone directly.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't say their last name or anything like
right.
that.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want
that.
Or
get too specific.
Yeah.
Where like you could identify them. I don't think I'm breaking the fabric of sobriety by talking about it.
And also, we're talking about it in a positive light without giving specifics.
We're talking about mine.
We're talking about yours. We're talking.
It doesn't own my sobriety story.
Right.
Like,
that's true. Yeah.
It is a part of it, but like this is my sobriety story. Is how I got sober. I don't know if I'm right. That's like one thing I always say is like, I don't know if I'm right.
Yeah.
I think I'm right.
Yeah.
But as long as I keep telling myself I don't know if I'm right, I just think I'm right, but I don't know.
Then
it really helps with my ego.
There you go.
The steps is basically the 12 steps, in my opinion, that I think I'm right about. It just helps you check your ego. And if you really think about a lot of our problems, it's just people in general comes to selfishness. And so I am a narcissist. I am extremely selfish. I will manipulate you to get what I want. And
that's kind of hot.
yeah.
I'm just kidding. Go
But
on.
that can lead me to making some bad decisions, like hurting people and hurting myself.
Yeah.
How do I keep that in check? But first, I have to accept that I'm a narcissist. And then that's why we have the higher power. Like, I believe the higher power is there. And it doesn't have to be Jesus.
Yeah.
Any form of higher power is so that you're no longer number one.
Right.
There's at least one thing above you, you know?
Right.
And so, like, that's what it's done for me. And then it's helped take me out of myself by making me think about other people more than I think about myself, which just, I don't necessarily know how, or like, it could be karma or whatever, like, but my life is better because when I'm in my selfish thinking, I start having weird, irrational, jealous thoughts, and like I start getting manipulative. I start, you know, convincing myself I don't have to work today, like those types of things. Like, I have less discipline.
Yeah.
Basically, and that's all the steps did for me, and it's the only thing that's ever worked for me, and it's one of the only things I've seen work for other people.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't work for, you know, for you.
Yeah. Well, I didn't try it. Like, I never, you know what I mean?
That's my point.
Yeah.
He's relapsed at 8 years.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Okay, you got me there. That is a
So,
very
like,
good.
you're just proving my point.
Very good point.
So
That's true.
I'm saying it like I think I'm right, but I don't know.
You have a good point.
But as of right now, I think that I'm right. I haven't seen anything better.
Yeah. Well, my thing is this: there are many paths to sobriety. What I do know is that the people that really put in the work for AA seem to be successful.
I actually had a very smart man when I was in LA after I got sober. I had the luxury of becoming a very, very successful personal trainer, and I trained a lot of very successful people.
That's great.
Very smart, like billionaires. And so I got to have very intellectual conversations with a lot of people that you wouldn't usually be able to talk to. And one of them said something really interesting. He said, statistically, AA doesn't work. And I'm like, well, you're right. 95% of people that walk into AA don't stay sober.
Right.
But I also think 95% of, there's a variable you're not taking account for, which is 95% of people don't really do it.
Right.
Like, really do it. Like, I addictively did it. Like, I did it like my life depended on it. There was a point, I can't do it anymore because I felt like a nerd, but I could read you the first like 100 pages of memory almost, because like I pretended I was stupid because my problem was I thought I was smart. That was my problem. I thought I could figure shit out on my own. If I have a question, or if I don't know what to do, or if I think I know what I'm doing, I'm going to double check. I'm going to open the book, and what does it tell me that I need to do? And just like a dancing monkey, do whatever that says. And it's generally worked out.
Yeah.
No matter how much I thought I had a better answer than the book.
Yeah.
The book always ended up being right.
It's nice to be able to just lean on that. You know what I mean? And not have to think about it.
Yeah, I've been proven wrong about that book. Has proven me wrong so many times. Like, it in and of itself has checked my ego.
I don't think I've ever seen it or read it.
You want a copy?
Can I? Can I have a signed copy? No, I would actually be curious to.
It looks like a big book, but really it's just the first 164 pages. The rest is like stories that you can read.
Oh, okay.
But the first 164 pages like have pretty much been unchanged since 1933.
Gotcha.
I think, and like it's just it's very simple. Here's how you probably feel, and it will pretty much, no matter who you are, tell you how you feel. And then it goes, this is probably what you do, and this is how you fix it.
Yeah.
And it just, if you just read it like that, put your shit aside and just do whatever it says, it makes your life a lot simpler.
Yeah.
And it teaches you, it's not about what you want to do, it's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
If that makes sense.
That does make sense.
Because we like to do what we want to do.
We like to do what we want to do a lot.
Yeah. I have that. It's an everyday struggle. to not just do what I want to do and think what I want to think.
Yeah.
To this day, almost 10 years sober.
What is it like being sober, being in the adult film industry? What are your thoughts on that?
Super glad that I
Yeah.
not only
Me too.
I'm doing it sober, but that I have a few years of sobriety in and under me before I started, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I see it with people who don't have addiction issues struggling with their ego, with anxiety, with drinking, whatever, as a result of it. Because it is a very vulnerable industry.
Yeah.
Like we're doing some shit that like pretty much nobody wants to do.
Yeah.
But everybody fantasizes about.
And it's a very vulnerable thing to put yourself out there.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And like I've even done some things that like if you would have told me that I would do it like 15 years ago, if you would have told me that I would do this specific thing on camera.
Right.
I probably would have been like, I'm going to kill myself. Because like I grew up in such a homophobic environment and like being kind of like not really gay or straight, like it was hard to like if I was really, I sometimes wish I was just gay because then it would have been easier to figure all this out. If that
You
makes
identify
sense.
as bi.
I don't know what I identify.
You're just, you don't identify.
I said bi for a while and then I said pan and then I said fluid. And now I'm just like, it changes day to day, dude. It's person to person, whatever. Like, but if I was just like gay and like had no interest in women and just like always hid that I was interested in men, it would have been easier for me to figure out is that what I am. But because I was that, I just prescribed to the straight way of doing things, and thought that was what you're supposed to be. And then when you're in sport, like anything gay is super degrading. Right. And it's like we're always like on the lookout for like if you're gay, like in the locker room. It was really weird.
That in its own is pretty gay. like trying to find who's gay is kind of gay.
Bro, I say this all the time. Straight guys do the gayest shit. Like, there's the gayest people.
Straight people are the gayest people I've ever met.
So weird. They talk about gay shit so much. And like my teammates, my college teammates, and like basketball is extremely homophobic society. We talked about gay shit so much in the locker room. You would think we were gay. And but like sucking dick, for example, was only ever referred to as a degrading thing.
Right.
Like something you should kill yourself if you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had told a lot of creators I don't do that. And so both Frankie, my girlfriend, and him were just like kind of shocked. They were like, okay. And like, let's do it. And then we did it. And then afterward, I was like, I was still thinking about my fucking teammates. That's why I didn't want to do it.
Oh my God.
But I wasn't aware that that's what I was thinking about. It's like they had indoctrinated me into like sucking dick is just like a degrading, horrible thing that like if you do it, you should kill yourself, type of thing. And I was like, why the hell? And it still creeps into me.
How did you
sometimes.
realize if you didn't realize it in the moment?
I realized it after the moment.
Just thinking about it later.
Just like, why did I make such a big deal out of that?
Yeah.
And like I clearly do want to do it sometimes. And just because I want to do it sometimes. Do you go to therapy? I have plenty.
You have, but not currently.
Nah, it's like, it's hard for me to find a fucking therapist that gets it. What I mean is like.
I get it.
Like I'm looking for a gay one right now, or like trans or something, because even my relationship with my girlfriend just confuses the fuck out of a straight person.
Right.
They're like, wait, so you're like dating a girl, you do gay porn, but you guys are like open, like you're like a straight person is just gonna be like, well, no problem, no reason you have problems.
Right.
And I'm just like,
they think our whole existence is a problem.
Right. They're like, they probably just think I'm mentally ill.
Right.
And I feel the least mentally ill right now that I ever have in my whole life. Like if my porn career has been the most stable I've ever been.
Yeah.
I actually love the gay porn industry specifically.
Yeah.
Like I really like it. It's like I feel like we're a community and we're all helping each other grow.
I agree.
We're very supportive of each other. I feel like the straight world is a little bit more, the straight porn world is a little bit more competitive almost and a little catty, if that makes sense.
I can't speak on that side of things. I've never done it, but I can imagine.
Yeah. Well, most women, for example, won't work with me.
Because
I do gay porn.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that makes me want to go do straight porn just to fuck with them. That makes me mad.
Well, I'm always like, I say this a lot.
A new meaning
like,
to revenge porn.
I fuck hotter dudes than you do, babe. Like,
Oh my God. What an insult.
a lot, except for the exception of a few of them, a vast majority of men in straight porn just are not at the same caliber of us.
Right.
On the gay side.
That's funny.
Unfortunately.
I feel like what I like about the gay porn industry is that there's surprisingly a lot of sober people.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of cool?
I've met quite a few, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know quite
Are
a
there
few.
sober people, sober people on the straight side as well, or not as much?
I haven't done a lot. I haven't been in that world a lot. Like even before I started porn, like I haven't been in the straight world a lot, even though like I am a decent amount straight. I just don't I don't have straight friends. I don't go to straight bars. Like it's not authentic enough for me.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of something else that sobriety's taught me is like I like being authentic. And if you don't like it, then like I know if I have to be fake around you, which is like a big reason why I left LA. It was like it just felt like everybody and I had to be fake all the time. Being sober taught me to be authentic, and gay people, because of coming out, are just inherently more authentic.
Oh, I see.
If that makes sense. Like you just kind of had your
We've been through
fuck
some
it,
shit.
I'm gonna be myself
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
A lot of straight people never had any moment like that in their life, unless they got sober or unless they came out of some sort. So it's hard for me to be around because they have like a lot of traditional like, this is how we do things and how we think and how we talk, and like in their relationships, they're all monogamous, right? Like which in the gay community, a lot of times we're more fluid about that. All of them are monogamous, and then they all pretend they're not attracted to other people.
Right, yeah.
They're like, you don't love your partner if you're attracted to other people. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You are just trying to sound all goody two-shoes.
Yeah,
No, you are
just
like
impossible.
Yeah, it's like you can't. Like you're just trying to say you're better than other people. Basically, like I'm better at being loyal. And like, well, then why are all of you cheating? Why is your husband on rent, man?
Right.
The vast majority of the people that got sober with me are dead right now.
Yeah, pretty much everybody that I knew when I was on heroin is dead.
Yeah, and like my mom even was like, it was crazy how many of your friends died.
Yeah.
Like she's like, every week you were like, fucking Jack died, and Rob died, Taylor died, like every week, and like even now in this year, how many?
Even worse.
How many of our coworkers or people in our industry have died?
I know.
What is it, like 3 now this year?
It's a lot.
And it's like I would rather you at least be alive and still like being an idiot. And then when you're finally like hit your bottom and you're gonna stay sober, like do it, but like don't come in and then like it's gonna make it even harder. Like it was hard for you to come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just wait until you're ready.
Yeah.
Like you'll not like it won't even be a decision when it is your decision. It's just
that's such a good point. I think that when a lot of times when people are ready, it's just like they have no choice at that point, you know.
And like, you know,
I wouldn't want to discourage somebody from not wanting to explore sobriety like until they're pinned against the wall, but that is often what happens. Yeah.
We want to be a good person and say, yeah, you can get sober before hitting bottom. But like if I'm being realistic, but I'm also just from the gnarlier crowd, you know, and it sounds like you were too. Yeah. Like I know some people that just, you know, are more hard drinkers or whatnot. And I know plenty of people that didn't have to hit the bottom I hit. But when you're dealing with drugs like heroin or like oxys and stuff like that, which I don't even know if those are a thing anymore, but I feel like it gets a little bit more complicated. It's not like booze.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not like booze where like you can kind of keep going in and out and be fine. Not be fine, but you know, with heroin, because that tolerance can kill you, it's a little bit, we can't as people in the program be naive to that. That because the book was written for alcohol, like AA was made for alcohol. We've just adopted it into
all these other things.
All these other things, but when you're talking about heroin specifically, like where people can die with the same dose, and that's mostly how they die is they get sober for 1 week, a month, 2, 3 months, and then they go back out. That's how every single one of my heroin friends died.
Yeah.
Is they got sober first.
I wonder what that is, but yeah.
And then kick the bucket after.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you sharing your story and talking about all this stuff with you.
Yeah, man.
Is there, where can people find you or anything you'd like to plug?
Just Google Crush Daddy. Luckily, I'm finally at that point where if you Google me, like I show up. It's Crush Daddy on Instagram, Crush Daddy XXX on Twitter. Don't go there when you're at work. TikTok is Crush Daddy Dancer. And yeah, I do OnlyFans. Just started a Just for Fans. So that's pretty much where I make my money. But like most of my content is on actually has nothing to do with porn.
Oh, really?
I talk about sexuality.
I
talk a lot about sexuality on Instagram.
Gotcha.
Stuff. That's what. And like now I'm getting really into gay history.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I did a video yesterday or 2 days ago about why San Francisco is so gay. Like I was trying to figure out why it's such a hub for the LGBTQ community. Like I don't like what started it all. It turned out it was the Navy.
Oh,
they just
that's pretty gay.
They just dumped all the gay people there that were discharged.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Military does some dumb shit.
There we go.
It was pretty funny. Yeah, they called it Treasure Island Navy Base.
That makes sense. And yeah, that's it. Bye. See ya.
Well, that's it for this episode of Stop the Ride. I want to thank Crush Daddy for sharing his story today and for being on my podcast. Join me next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, where I sit down with adult content creator Boomer Banks about why he decided to give up the drugs and the alcohol. You can see all of our episodes plus some additional content at stoptheridepodcast.com, and make sure to follow or subscribe on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. If you enjoyed the show, please do me a big favor and share with a friend or leave a review wherever you get your podcast. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time on Stop the Ride.
This podcast is brought to you by Liberty Lane Films, truly independent.